Hey there, Juan Morales here, and in today's episode, we're going to talk about something very important for today's entrepreneur and business builder, which is the idea of you're not selling, you're really enhancing the experience of your client. And the reason I bring this up is because so many people have this negative connotation of what selling is. When you think of a salesman, you tend to think of a used car salesman, someone who's very pushy, they're trying to take money away from you while giving you no value and all these things. And those were things that worked in the past, right? They still work today to a certain degree because there's always people waking up and looking for something or looking for a particular opportunity, so they're willing to buy right away. But the fact of the matter is, most sales don't happen from people you met the first time. And this is where a lot of people focus their efforts, right? They think that getting it to convert on cold traffic is the ultimate prize to go for. When in reality, most people will never buy the first time they see your thing. And those who do buy on the first time have a higher likelihood of refunding because it's just an impulse thing versus someone who has known you for a while and then they decide to purchase something from you. And the trust has been established and all these things have happened. But what I've realized, especially when I'm talking to clients and when I'm talking to clients that behave in the way that I just described, that they've done it before, they've worked with agencies, they've bought traffic, they've run ads, they've done all these things, but they do them with the idea of getting the ROI right away, first of all, and more importantly, their mindset is all about selling. It's like a predatory game. I'm selling them and I gotta, get the money out from them, et cetera, et cetera. But that's the wrong way to approach the market. And I learned this a while back from one of my mentors that said, instead of thinking, how can I generate $1 million from the marketplace? How can I extract $1 million from the marketplace? His question was a lot better, and it changed the way I think about business radically. And his way of thinking was, how can I create $10 million worth of value for my marketplace so that the marketplace gives me $1 million back? Because it's not about selling them, it's about enhancing their experience, enhancing them. It's about supporting them in achieving what they want to get. You can't lose track of that. And we tend to do that all the time for a very simple reason. What's in it for me? As it happens with everybody in your marketplace, everybody's thinking, what's in it for me? So when you're able to think beyond what's in it for me, and you understand that long term, building that tribe, having a group of people buying from you, building that trust, that scale, using the internet, is an incredible asset for your business to have. It's an incredible asset for you to have if you're the brand, if you're the face of the company. But it's an incredible asset that you generate, but it takes time, first of all, which is, again, it's against our instant gratification age that we live in. So it does take time. It can be accelerated, for sure, if you do the right things and you do them the right way, but it does take time. It's not an instant thing that you're going to be popular overnight or you're going to be seen as the expert overnight. That doesn't really happen. But what does happen is that when you focus on the betterment of your clients and of your customers, because it's about them getting what they want. Forget about what you want. As a marketer, as a seller, as a business owner, all the things you want are on the other side of them getting what they want. But if you're thinking about what you want now and they haven't gotten what they want yet, you're going to start making bad decisions. Because that's when you start pushing products without really knowing whether they fit or don't fit a particular client. That's when you start trying to look at your internal numbers and trying to convince people to join certain programs even though they're not ready or even though they don't have all the stuff that they need in order to get there. These are things that happen all the time in business. But the most important thing, and one of my mentors said it best with his famous strategy of preeminence, which is stop falling in love with your company, your product, even your business, and start falling in love with your client. Because when you fall in love with your client, then every decision that you make is for their betterment. It's for their protection. It's for their enhancement. This is what this whole point is about today. Stop thinking in terms of selling. Start thinking in terms of enhancing people's lives. How are you making them better? Whether it's through free content or paid content or whatever you're doing, the name of the game is enhancement. Because that is what happens when you deliver value. See, when you deliver value to someone, let's say with this episode itself, I'm telling you about this stuff. And I'm giving you this because I'm wanting this to enhance your experience. Now, when this enhances your experience, because you got it, because you understood it, because you apply it, now you got value. And now, unmistakably, you got value from me, which means that you're more prone to check out the next thing I have for you because there is some value in there for you. Now, once I do that, and I get you on this value train, if you will, then you're more likely to trust me, you're more likely to buy from me, and you're more likely to follow me in the future with new ideas, new things that I come up with. But it's because my focus is not on selling. My focus is on enhancing. And this isn't going into the whole thing of like whether direct selling works or not, or it doesn't, because it does. It absolutely does. But in today's landscape, especially for things that have to do with coaching, consulting, and all this stuff, there's tons of people out there taking that approach. And this really comes down to the same principle of when everybody's zigging, you want to be zagging. Everybody's trying to push people into their coaching program right away. Everybody's doing everything they can to get people into their program as fast as possible, to get the sales to happen with the least amount of interactions possible so that you get quick numbers. But all that's doing to the market is what? It's diminishing the trust because now they're less likely to sign up for someone's list if they think that person's going to be predatory with them as well. Right? If they think that the whole thing is look at the power of webinars. A couple of years ago, webinars were huge, and they still are pretty big. But the cat's out of the bag. People know that there's stuff that gets pitched in webinars. So if you keep selling the idea of your training as this thing where you expect them not to know that there's going to be something pitched there, of course they're going to know. That is why if you go in and you actually do something and you don't have a pitch, but you rather build that relationship, that's going to be the zag to everybody else's zig. Everybody's trying to convince them and trying to sell them and trying hard to sell them on that first touch point. What happens if you don't try to sell them? What happens if you make your focus enhancing them? Because guess what? Even if there are new leads that came into your business, you have absolutely no idea if they have the qualifications needed in order to buy your stuff. But if you start training them, and you start enhancing their lives from right now, then you're not only building that trust, but you're making certain that the people that you expose that offer to are the right people for you. Because otherwise, they wouldn't engage, they wouldn't open emails, they wouldn't click to see videos, they wouldn't get any of the training. But if someone comes in just because you claim something, let's say income related or weight related or relationship related, you're going to jump in because you think it's a good idea. Everybody wants to get more money or lose some weight or get a better partner or improve the partnership that they already have, right? The relationship they already have. But everybody has those goals like in the back of their mind. Now, does that mean that you're ready to take an 8-week coaching program to do X? No, it does not. But if I start stuffing people into a webinar because what I believe is that after they come into this webinar, they're instantly going to love it and they're going to buy my stuff, well, when I look at those numbers afterwards, I'm going to say to myself, oh, I'm only getting a, 5% conversion on this cold traffic webinar. But that's not the ideal scenario because a lot of the people that are jumping into the webinar are the ones that actually show up to it. You have no idea who they are, where they are, and they have no idea who you are either. So does it make sense to try to sell them there? I know that there's people that do that. I've done it for the longest time. But I've seen it diminish in returns every time. Because people are less likely to trust you. And they know there's other options out there. So pressuring them into making a decision is not a great idea. But if you build that trust first, if you enhance them first, if you give them, as Frank Kern calls it, results in advance first, well, guess what happens? now they're likely to keep following you. Now they like you. They like you, not Facebook like you. They like you. Like if they saw you somewhere, they would stop and go and say hi. That's the true essence of doing what we do. That's the true essence of marketing directly to the consumer, and to do so in the proper way. And the big companies know this. That's why companies like Agora will have a lead and will work even in the red for the longest time, because they know that over time they build that relationship, they nurture that relationship, they offer things to those people. It's a much more valuable idea. And it is this thinking of what happens to these people over time, not on a snapshot, but on a movie. You see, when you're looking at your stats, you're only taking a snapshot of what's happening. How many people bought yesterday? Right? How many people got to the add to cart yesterday? That's a snapshot. But if you look at it over time, like how many people got into, let's say, a purchase yesterday, and when did they start becoming a part of my tribe? Right? How many of those people were people that joined yesterday and decided to buy yesterday, and how many people have been around for 3 months? And this process of building, enhancing, and growing with them has actually helped them already, and then pushes them into, compels them into buying, to be honest with you. Because now they trust, they've tasted it, they know what it's about. But it starts from that fundamental philosophical change, which is you're not selling to them, you're enhancing their lives. And when you do that, everything else will follow. Till next time, this is Juan Morales signing out. I'll see you on the next one.